You know when celebrity news gets so messy that no matter how hard you try to avoid it, you just can't, because every update makes the whole story sound even more chaotic? That's exactly where we are with this ongoing drama between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni, and somehow even Taylor Swift, who at this point is probably wondering why her name is in court documents for a movie she didn't even make. And honestly, I've been following this for months now, and I swear every time I think it's about to calm down, something happens that pulls it right back into the headlines. What's funny though is that a lot of this fire didn't even come from Justin or Blake or Taylor this time. It came from Ryan Reynolds, who, let's be real, usually knows how to play the media game perfectly. He's usually the funny one, the safe one, the guy everyone laughs with. But this time he decided to tell a story that has fans scratching their heads, questioning his judgment, and wondering why he would even share something like that while all this other stuff is going on around his family. So what happened is that Ryan told this story about Bill Murray, who he was trying to get involved in his John Candy documentary. He said he left about 40 voicemails for Bill, which already sounds very on brand for him, since Bill Murray is famous for not answering calls. Eventually, Bill did call him back, but the timing couldn't have been worse because Ryan and Blake were walking into some kind of formal event. Blake apparently leaned over to remind him they had to go in, and in that moment, Ryan blurted out "F you" to her, because he was so desperate not to miss the call. And he laughed about it, clearly thinking it was a cute, funny anecdote about how much he wanted Bill Murray to say yes. But the internet didn't take it that way at all. People jumped straight past the comedy and latched onto the fact that he admitted yelling "F you" at Blake Lively in public, at a formal event, and during a time when rumours about their marriage are already swirling. And if I'm being real, that's where I think Ryan made a huge mistake. Sometimes timing is everything, and when your wife is in the middle of a very public legal fight and people are already speculating that your marriage might not be as picture perfect as everyone thought, maybe don't tell the world you cursed her out, even if it was just in the moment and meant as a joke. Now for me, what makes this especially messy is that this story has echoes of Justin Baldoni's complaint. Remember, Justin claimed in court documents that Ryan was harsh toward him during a production meeting for It Ends With Us. So when Ryan himself tells the world, "Hey, I once yelled F you at my wife," people start connecting the dots. They're like, hold up, maybe Justin wasn't exaggerating when he said Ryan has a sharp tongue behind the scenes. And this is where public perception gets tricky, because fans don't separate these incidents. They don't say, oh, that was Ryan joking here and Justin accusing him there. They mash it all together and suddenly Ryan Reynolds, the funny guy from Deadpool, the charming businessman, the witty Twitter user, doesn't look so charming anymore. He looks like someone who might not treat people as well as we thought. But here's the thing, and I really want to stress this because it's my own perspective. I don't actually think Ryan told that story with any malicious intent. I don't think he meant to embarrass Blake or paint himself as someone who disrespects her. I think he thought it would come across as, wow, I was so desperate for this call that I didn't even think, I just snapped. And in a vacuum, maybe it would have been funny. But when you put that story into the current climate, where people are watching every move Blake and Ryan make because of the lawsuit and because of those missing Instagram photos, it lands differently. Suddenly it doesn't feel like a harmless joke. It feels like evidence, even if it really isn't. And that's the danger of oversharing when the spotlight is already hot. Now, since we're talking about the lawsuit, let's actually get into what's been happening there, because that is the backdrop to all of this, and it's honestly exhausting to even keep up with. Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively have been locked in this legal fight over the adaptation of It Ends With Us. Justin was the one developing the film first, but Blake came in as the star, and according to him, also tried to take creative control. He claimed she pushed him out of key decisions, leaned on her connections, and basically hijacked the project. Blake's side of the story is that she was protecting the integrity of the material and that Justin wasn't delivering the film fans deserved. So they've been going back and forth, and in the process, some very unflattering details about both of them have come out. Neither side looks good. Justin looks bitter and controlling, while Blake looks manipulative and power-hungry. And then, as if that wasn't enough, Taylor Swift's name got dragged into the middle of it. Taylor's only official involvement was that she allowed one of her songs to be used in the movie. That's it. But Justin's legal team tried to paint a picture of Taylor being used as leverage in meetings, like Blake showing off her famous friend to pressure him. There were even texts referenced where Justin said it felt like Blake was using Taylor and Ryan to gang up on him. Now, Taylor's reps immediately denied all of this, saying she never had creative control, never visited the set, never saw cuts of the movie, and was being exploited in this lawsuit for clickbait, which, let's be honest, they're probably right about. If you slap Taylor Swift into any headline, suddenly it blows up, and Justin knows that, his team knows that. But unfortunately for Taylor, the more her name comes up, the more the public assumes she was involved somehow, and that's the last thing she wants. She's got her own empire to run, her own tour, her own relationship with Travis Kelce, and now she's reading that lawyers are trying to subpoena her over a movie she didn't even work on. And yes, they actually tried to subpoena her. Justin's lawyers attempted to drag Tayler into a deposition, and when that didn't work, things got ugly. Reports surfaced that a private investigator, a former cop, was arrested outside Travis Kelce's house because he allegedly trespassed while trying to serve Tayler with legal papers. Can we just stop for a second and think about how insane that is? We are at the point where someone is literally breaking into a gated estate to hand Taylor Swift a subpoena for a lawsuit she shouldn't even be part of. That's not just messy, that's dangerous. And even though Justin's team later tried to distance themselves from it, saying it wasn't their fault, the fact that it happened at all just made him look desperate. So now you have this whole triangle of chaos. Justin looks shady for trying to involve Tayler. Blake looks shady for allegedly leveraging Tayler in the first place. Ryan looks shady for coming off harsh in both Justin's story and his own. And Tayler just looks like someone who desperately wants to be left out of this. And yet, somehow, all four names keep coming up in the same breath. What makes this whole thing so fascinating to me is that it started as a dispute over a movie adaptation. That's it, one movie. But because of egos, connections, and timing, it has spiraled into this massive legal and PR disaster. Blake is out here posting selfies at Universal Studios and trying to look unbothered, but she's limiting her comments because she knows every post is going to be flooded with questions about the lawsuit. Ryan is making jokes that aren't landing the way they used to. Justin is filing motion after motion, trying to keep the case alive, and Tayler is basically stuck watching the circus from the sidelines, probably regretting that she ever said yes to licensing that song. And the worst part, this isn't even close to over. The court date is set for March 2020, which means we've got over a year of this drama still ahead of us. That's a year of leaks, of messy headlines, of social media sleuths analysing every move. A year of lawyers trying to spin things in their clients' favour. A year of fans picking sides and fighting online. And by the time they actually go to trial, both Blake and Justin will be so damaged in the court of public opinion that it almost won't matter who wins legally, because the public will have already made up its mind. From where I sit, I don't see a clear winner in any of this. Blake has tarnished her reputation by being painted as controlling. Justin has hurt his by seeming vindictive. Ryan has chipped away at his likable image. And Tayler. Well, Tayler hasn't lost much because she's too powerful, but she has definitely been dragged into something she never wanted. And if you think about it, that's the real tragedy here. A film that was supposed to celebrate a best-selling book and connect with fans about serious issues like domestic abuse has instead become a celebrity soap opera. The focus isn't on the story anymore, it's on the lawsuits, the subpoenas, and the gossip. So when I hear Ryan telling this story about cursing at Blake, what I really hear is someone who hasn't realised just how sensitive the atmosphere around him and his wife is right now. He thinks he's being relatable and funny, but in reality, he's just adding another log to a fire that's already out of control. And until this case gets resolved, every little thing he or Blake says is going to be magnified, dissected, and spun into a bigger narrative. That's the reality of celebrity life in the social media age. Every anecdote becomes evidence. Every deleted photo becomes a clue, every rumour becomes a headline, and once it's out there, you can't take it back.